Right on.
Let's
So
do it.
let's go question her.
Lupus brings you up the massive marble stone steps to the front door, which is carved out of real wood. Um, it's got this relief of noble figures standing around, drinking, enjoying themselves, weeping, and praising, and it's just this magnificent work. Obviously, very expensive, and probably several hundred years old by the patina on the wood. And he lifts up a heavy door knocker and he bangs on it 3 times. Wham, wham, wham. The doors slowly open, and a sort of a butler-looking fellow, who's dressed in a long, dark crimson robe, opens the door. He's bald. He's very old and weathered. And actually, when you take a second look at him, he also is a servitor, but he's clearly a very high functioning one. He has a little bit of machinery, some cogs and wheels that sort of come out of his skull. And he turns to look at you and he says, "Greetings. Welcome to House Phaedrus. How may I help you?"
We're here to see
Lupus,
the matron about her daughter that's gone missing.
Lupus affirms what you said. He says, "Mithras, we need to see Matron Phaedrus. Can you arrange for a visit in the private parlor? Probably the sunroom abutting the garden. She always feels comforted there." And Mithras, the servitor, looks at Lupus and he says, "Yes, sir, I will arrange for a viewing. Please proceed to the sunroom. I will fetch Matron Phaedrus." Mithras stumbles off. The room that you're in is like a very large atrium. There's a marble sort of pool set in the center of the room. The stone floor directly around the pool, but beyond that, all of the floors are made out of hardwood. On the back wall, there's a magnificent painting of a stern-looking man with jet black hair and a gilded overcoat, looking down sort of very seriously. And underneath, it says "Kaltos Phaedrus, requiescat in pace." Lupus leads you off to the right, through a series of doors, through a number of sort of sitting chambers that are decorated with, vases and flowers and antique furniture, till finally he pushes open a pair of double doors, and light just sort of streams out, and you walk in bathing in this light. And the furniture in here is all of a more modern cut, and it's all got very light colors. There are huge glass windows that overlook into the garden, where you can actually see like hummingbirds flitting between bushes around in here. Not inside, but immediately outside the garden. And he says, all right, Jax, I'm going to leave you here, and you can await for Mistress Phaedrus. Just as a warning, if you need any help, the House Arbites are on standby, and they'll be here in only a moment's notice if you need any assistance for any particular reason. He sort of fixes you with an eye-to-eye look.
You've been very helpful, friend. I appreciate it.
And he steps out regarding the data slate and taking off on his own.
And okay, well, I just kind of situate myself and wait.
All right, after a few minutes, Mithras pushes open the door and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Matron Phaedrus." And a tall and elegantly dressed in black woman moves in to the room. She's got ruffled lace at her neck and actually a plunging neckline, but all very well dressed in black. She looks to be about 60 years old.
But she could be 260.
Could very well be. She comes into the room and she says, "Hello, my name is Karna Phaedrus. I understand you're here to make inquiries about my daughter."
Yes, we've heard she's gone missing,
Correct.
and we have a few questions to narrow our search. We've been researching actually a different house. What house have we been talking to?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. We have reason to believe they could be involved in a number of things. Do you have any reason to believe your daughter might be involved with them?
She looks at you askance, like she's been scandalized, and she says, "My heavens, you're a local arbitrator, yes?"
You could say we're local, all things considered, but we're our scope's a little bit larger than what you're perhaps used to.
She says, "Why, yes, my daughter Judica was a good friend of Kari Ophaly."
Kari Ophaly is, of course, who now?
Kari Ophaly is the one who left Chet, as Engelbart and I found the letter in the tower that pointed to such a thing.
Yes.
I knew there was a reason you guys went shopping for clothes during that.
She's the daughter of House Ophaly. And Karna continues, and she says, "Yes, last night Judica and Kari were attending a soiree here on Phaedrus Block. It's 6 blocks down the road, and then another 3 blocks to the right. There's a ballroom where there was a soiree being held. It was a joint effort between House Phaedrus and House Ophaly to improve our relations. It's amazing that you mention this, because I just got this message this morning, and the handwriting looks incredibly familiar." And she pulls out a worn piece of parchment, and she hands it to you. And it reads, "Karna, your daughter, took overmuch of Amasek last night, and we will help her recover for an indeterminate period of time. Please contact us if you wish to know more."
This is, of course, most perturbatory, as you must understand. I need to ask, well, I think this is our strongest lead, so we're going to look into this, and we're going to get your daughter back. We've actually been working with your house arbitrage, and they've been very helpful, so if you would allow them to continue to help us, that would be very helpful.
She says, "Oh, yes, of course. Who has your contact been up to this point?"
God damn it, I even forgot his name. What was it? Lysis or something like that?
Lupus.
Lupus, man.
Lupus.
She says, "Oh, yes, Lupus has been with me for nearly 30 years. I will, of course, ask him to keep you informed of any developments and deliver you whatever resources you need to return my daughter in safety."
Assuming that we cannot return the daughter alive, do you have any particular organs you'd like us to prioritize?
She looks at you with a stunned look in her eyes and immediately begins breaking down into tears, just sobbing.
I apologize, man. He was born on a space hulk. His manners aren't with him right this second. Engelbart, we've got enough, I believe. We can go.
If you don't mind, I'll go and examine the servitor.
Actually,
a space hulk indeed. And she turns and she says, she nearly strides out of the room. She turns around and she says, collects herself for a moment, "Please inform me of any updates to your investigation."
Absolutely, man.
She strides out the door.
did you ask about the Navigators Guild, Jax?
No. I think this
You
is...
had one job, Jax.
Now, Fricks,
You had
don't
one
go...
job.
You could have a heart attack with your girth. Just give it a second, please. This is our best lead. We know the house is involved, and it would appear that they're doing some abducting now, which is going to give us, and this is most exciting, I think Lupus can give us the manpower we need to perhaps root these heretics out and dispose of them. I think this has been great.
I understand your need to kill people.
There is that. We can come back, and I mean, once we retrieve the daughter, I'm sure we could ask about
she'll owe us a favor.
getting into that house and then figuring out the
We may find out.
the charts as well. Yes. So I don't think all is lost, but very fair point. And feel free to remind me before Engelbart chases her out of the room with stories of her daughter's organs and stuff like that.
I'm sorry, I was too fazed by the fact that they're lesbians. That the rumors have been confirmed.
This seems highly inefficient.
The lesbian part, Engelbart, or
Yes, it would make the coitus difficult.
There's much to be explained to you.
There appear to be interface problems.
It has to do with the unibrow, but it's for another time.
I must research this technology more thoroughly.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I turn and walk out, lighting a low stick, and then I call up on the Vox Lupus.
Yeah. He responds, "Yes, Jax, hello."
Lupus, we just spoke to the matron. We have reason to believe. Well, actually, I think it's better to be said in person. If you could meet us outside the spot we were just at, I'd love to chat with you.
He says, "Yes, I'll meet you on the front steps right away."
So walking out, smoking the low stick.
You head out onto the front steps. Mithras sees you out the door. He says, "Thank you for your stay. I hope it was a pleasant visit." And he closes the big doors behind you. Bam. You're smoking your low stick on the front step when Lupus comes running from the gate up the steps, taking them two at a time with a long and powerful stride. He runs up. He says, "Jax, I got here as soon as I could. What can I do for you? How did your meeting go?"
It went well. We have reason to believe that what the fuck is it called?
House Ophaly.
House Ophaly is involved, and they have actually passed on a note that your matron confirms seems to be in the handwriting of their daughter, Kari, I believe her name is. That they have actually taken in they're taking care of our missing gal here, and we need your help because we have reason to believe they could be involved in far more nefarious things. Not only have they abducted the woman of interest, but it might stretch on beyond that. So we need you to rally your arbitrage as we approach them and ask them about this.
He says, "Wow, that's quite the accusation. Do you have the letter with you?"
Why, yes, I did. I took it from the matron right here.
Fair enough. You hand it over to him, and he picks it up. He takes a look at it. He says, "What? It's not signed."
No, of course not, friend. That's why we have to investigate. And it's not like we're going to kick in the door and just start shooting everybody down. My life has not been that exciting in the last couple of days, but there is a chance that we're going to need the backup because they do have their own house arbitrage, and we have reason to believe they, too, are connected to this.
He says, "All right. Yeah, okay, I'll give you help. Another thought, it might be worthwhile to send this letter to our local Arbites branch, have its handwriting analyzed, and see if we can identify exactly who wrote this."
That's actually a really good point. We should do that. Do that, friend. And in the meantime, we'll be heading out over towards the house. We won't go anywhere near it, actually. We'll just be outside this one. And if you can come back with your findings with us, that'd be great.
He says, "Yes, absolutely. I'll give you a call on the Vox. Is there anything else I can do for you? Anything to help speed you along, aid your investigation, perhaps?"
Well, Fricks, do you have any ideas?
Do we know how large this house is, or how many arbiters they might have, guards? It's
Yeah,
any,
about
any.
Forces employed by
Yes,
House Ophaly.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, okay. He says, let me check our databanks. I will get back to you by Voxcom, and I'll let you know what I found.
Frick,
sure
one should
it's-
bear in mind that one of the higher houses of the Spire would have access to not only extreme manpower, but also high-grade weaponry, possibly military, heavily armed servitors, automated security systems. It's a fortress.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we've
I
dealt with
just-
this before. It'll be fine.
At this point, do we believe
When?
that...
When did we deal with this?
In
When
one
did
of
this
our
happen?
You
many
know,
adventures.
You
I'm
know,
sure you have
2
this
months
happening.
ago,
But why was I not informed of these adventures?
you were
You
off
must have
doing
ran out
something
of
with
RAM.
the ship.
Problem.
You were there.
Do I need to purge the cogitators once again?
What is that?
Oh, you wouldn't understand. Never mind.
Do we have reason to believe that the entire House of Ophaly is behind this, or do we believe that it is still just the work of some within the house?
House politics are extremely complex. The geopolitical relationship between houses within this spire is multi-layered. It may very well be simply an inter-house dispute. It may not, in fact, be anything more sinister at all.
Yes, outside of the fact that we do know that they are linked to the Samsonite stealings, which means this could go deeper. As far as the question of is it the entire house or just a few members of the house, with how powerful these individuals are, it oftentimes could be either or. But I'm of the belief that when you find corruption, you pull it out by the root and you take the whole plant with it, usually.
So I would suggest that while we wait for this information over the Vox, we maybe investigate where the original abduction took place. Which
Didn't it take place
do we know
here?
where that's at?
we believe. Well, she was at the ball, right?
Yeah, at the ballroom. It's 6 blocks down the road, and then down to the right another 3 blocks.
Sure. Lupus,
go take a look.
just hit me up on Vox when you've got the answers. We're going to go check out a lead.
Vox me.
Says-
Vox me, buddy.
He says, "I'll
then-
vox you."
All right, then we head that way.
All right. Let's see.
Are we passing back by the security gate, or
Yeah,
said-
you are.
Okay. Do they give
You're
us
not-
any looks or anything like
You're
that?
not going through it. Everybody's actually turned their backs to you. They're paying attention to
Okay.
the latest newcomers up the civilian access hub.
Gotcha.
One of them appears to be making a ruckus. A couple arbitrators are sort of restraining him and pulling him off into a restrainment cell off by the side.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're heading straight to the ballroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So you make it the 6 blocks down the thoroughfare and turn it to the right. You head about 3 blocks. There's a number of very different and distinct looking sort of shops and eateries along this way. It's very clearly more upper scale than the Ophaly housing block that you were walking through before. It's obvious that, the cafes and the restaurants here, they're serving a much wealthier clientele. Eventually, you see on your left a large marble sheet edifice with a pair of figures sort of engraved into it on the left-hand side, and they appear to be sort of dancing a very stately, courtly dance. And across the top of it, it says Les Fleurs, which means the flowers in some ancient and forgotten language.
Okay.
I
All right,
wrote
Fricks,
that
what's your
in
ideas
chat.
here? Let's get this done. I
Well-
haven't killed somebody in at least 4 days.
Is there? I just want to see if there's anyone around that I could possibly talk to, find out if they saw her last night. Any indication that could
Can you
give
give
us
me
another lead?
Can you give me an inquiry roll?
Yes, I can.
That's 1d100 versus your inquiry, which is your fellowship score,
Which
is 33.
33. So just +3 then.
No, it's 1d100, and you're hoping to hit 33 or less.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, I
Yeah,
did.
57. All right. There's nobody around outside, unfortunately. You go up and bang on the door, and nobody answers immediately.
Is there anything around the surroundings, anywhere where potentially an abduction could have taken place, an alley nearby, anything at all that?
You look a little bit further down the road on the left, just beyond the ballroom, Les Fleurs. There is an alleyway down the back side. It looks like it's got a couple chemical glow lamps lighting it, but it's not nearly as bright or as well lit as the magnet lamps that are heating and hovering globules of super hot metal casting
Do you
off
see
light.
any? Are there any picked sensors in that particular area? Any kind of security?
From where you are right now, you can see there's a picked sensor above the doorway of the ballroom, but that appears to be the only one within line of sight. It doesn't look like there's anything watching the alleyway, actually.
So in theory, if they were to have left by the front door, then we would have been able to confirm that. Are there any other exits out of this area that would access said alleyway without having to leave through the front door?
Are you going to check down the alleyway?
We could,
Yes.
but there's not really going to be anything there, one would think. We can have a look anyway.
Yeah, might as well.
All right. Who's leading the way?
Well, Fricks is doing the inquiry here, so she can go first.
I'm sorry, Eli. Do you have a light?
No, I don't actually.
Jax, do you have a light?
Lights up my low stick, hands it over to Fricks.
All right. I'm not concerned that there's anything in here. Yes, let's go in and check out the alley.
Okay. You go around the corner and take a look down the alleyway. It stretches it looks like it stretches all the way behind the ballroom. It probably goes 400 or 500 feet. There is a small steel door on the left that appears to lead into the ballroom some way, and it also appears to continue around behind the ballroom.
And there are no recorders here either.
Give me a perception roll.
All right. Wrong guy.
You're typing in Skype.
I know. Shut up, JP.
Skype
up,
needs a
JP.
dice rolling functionality.
You are using unsanctioned communication methods.
Pulled out a notepad. I rolled an 84.
All right. It doesn't look like there are any sensory equipment around the hallway.
All right. Why don't I just then check around the corner as well?
Down at the back of the
Yeah.
of the ballroom. Let's see. I'm actually going to move this over to a new page where we can
Draw it out.
see more understanding of exactly where we are. So let's see here. I'll move you guys over momentarily.
Sure.
Here's the front of the ballroom, the big double doors, and then some stairs. Mm-hmm. Then it continues. Then there's a hallway. Whoa. It's got a little loop-de-loop. Yeah, absolutely. So, pulling you guys over now. This is the what you see when you're looking around at this immediate environment. Looks like back down this way. You said you were looking around the corner. Fricks?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, it continues on down this way, and you see two doors, and down by the far door, there is a picked servitor who's shuffling away from you, and you can tell by the machinery coming out of the back of his head, and the way that he walks with sort of a favor to his right-hand side. The machinery is on the right-hand side. It looks like he's a picked servitor. Seems to be scanning the hallway back here.
There's no this is a dead end, correct?
No, this is another alleyway that is sort of a very small access that runs parallel to the major thoroughfare that you were on beforehand. There's no dead end. It continues.
But there's
in
no
both
alley. There's no. Okay, so he could either continue down that hallway or go back the way we came, or I guess down the other way. Okay.
Yes.
I would notify everyone else of what I've just seen. Guys, there's also two doors.
Sure.
I'm what?
Well, we should certainly pursue the servitor, one would think.
I thought you'd never ask. I start walking towards the service.
Jax, go.
Jax, keep the shotgun to the side for the time being.
Absolutely. Yep.
We don't want to damage the equipment.
Yeah.
We just looking to question? Is that what you're saying? Mr.
I come walking just straight up at the servitor. Excuse me, friend. A word, please.
The servitor turns around, and there's a blinking yellow light on the front of the light sensor on the front of this guy's face. He turns around, like half his face is given over to this hunk of machinery that comes out a little bit to the side, and significantly to the back, there's cables and wires trailing down to his right-hand shoulder, which he sort of favors. He's a little bit slumped over. He turns, faces you, and opens his mouth with a slack-jawed expression. He sort of drools a little bit. He says, and the blinking yellow light starts blinking red.
Okay.
This would indicate that we might be being recorded, one would think.
Yeah.
That's not good.
He,
yeah.
Are all of us in the alleyway?
It's dark still there, right?
I didn't move down the alleyway.
It's
So only
it's
Jax is
dim.
being
It's not
recorded.
dark. I think
Okay.
Jax moved down the alleyway. Did Fricks? Did you accompany Jax?
I mean, Jax took the lead. I was just a few steps behind him, so.
All right. So Jax and Fricks are located about here, as you can see the ping on the map.
Okay.
And there's a servitor right next to them. Kappa and Eli are located back here down this corridor. When all of a sudden the door that's closest to Engelbart and Eli bangs open, slams open, and a number of men run out.
This one?
Looks,
Or this one?
yeah,
Okay.
this one right here closest to you.
Gotcha. And are they
Yeah.
running towards Jeff and them? Or
They slam open the door and they round the corners heading towards Jax.
they don't?
and,
Do they see us at all?
Jax and Fricks. It doesn't look like they've noticed you at all, Eli.
All right. I put my back up against the wall and shoo Engelbart over and say, get out of the way, get out of the way.
All right. And then what are you doing now?
I'm just watching and looking down the alleyway without trying to be unnoticed to see what these guys are doing to Jax and Fricks.
As the
I'll-
door slams open, I hear this and I turn around and I have quick draw, so my shotgun is at the ready instantly.
Awesome. Cool.
How many people were there, by the way? Do I see?
There are 5 of them. 4 of them look like they're armed with las guns, and one of them is wearing bulkier armor, and he looks like he's armed with a shotgun.
Are there any?
He's a-
Oh, go ahead.
He's a burly man with a close cropped blonde hair, and he's just wearing a dark jacket that looks pretty bulky and some bulky cargo pants.
Well, I'll draw
Okay,
my
cargo
last
pants.
carbine, as you might
All right.
imagine at this stage.
Let us take a 3-minute break, and then
Oh.
we'll roll for initiative.
Man, YouTube is gonna hate us. We'll see you guys after. Oh, Fricks,
Okay.
what's up?
No. I'll wait. I'll ask after the break.
Okay, cool. We'll take a quick 3-minute break. When we come back, we'll be going into hour number 3. We'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching.